and good evening. I am Rakesh Kalia and I welcome all the viewers to the next episode of our webinar series titled as Is Blended Learning the Only Way Out in Post-COVID School? Viewers, I feel honored to introduce you our worthy panelists for today's webinar, Mrs. Sangeeta Nistandra, Principal
Good evening,
DCM
sir.
International School, Firozpur, Shri Chetan Chauhan, Principal DPS Rudapur, and Shri Santosh Shukla, Principal DPS Patiala. Friends, COVID-19 pandemic triggered school leaders to adopt more equitable and student-centered systems. But only well thought out new changes introduced by our school leaders will be enduring and transformative in the post-COVID schools. The VUCA world, that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world we are living in, demands sustainable solutions introduced by our school leaders. Blended learning is certainly ahead of the pack. So, viewers, let's see how our worthy panelists respond to this latest issue. My first question is for Chetan sir. Sir, how do you define blended learning for our viewers? Please, sir.
Thank you, Rakeshji, first of all, for introducing to all the panelists. And a very important question you have posed to all the panelists, that is the blended learning going to be the new feature of post-COVID era. And as far as my opinion is concerned, it is going to be the feature of the schools after this pandemic, whenever it's going to be uplifted or this situation becomes normal. See, the term blended learning, as we all know, I think all the leaders are there. It's a combination of face-to-face teaching learning process along with the intervention of technology. And we all are using it for the last 7-8 months. So both the things are going hand in hand. And I think when I talk about my own school, it's going perfectly fine. The children are comfortable. They have accepted this technology and this challenge, and so goes for the teachers. And this pandemic, this situation has given a lot of opportunities to the teachers in terms of enhancing their own skills. And now we cannot say that they are technologically challenged. Rather, they have refined their own skills, and which is going to help in their own professional development, and also they'll be able to meet the demands of the 21st century learners. And when we talk about this blended learning, and I think we all must have heard the terminology which was used in the past decade, that is flipped classroom. That is almost synonymous to this blended learning. The teachers were using that, but now it's going on full-fledgedly. Initially, yes, it was a challenge for the teachers, and what I believe or what I feel that we as adults or people belonging to this generation or this century, 21st century, we are the digital migrants, but we are dealing with the digital natives. So children, they already are hands-on with this technology, its usage, and they are very, very comfortable. So it is challenging for the teachers, but with the time, they have grown, they have refined their skills, and they are using a perfect blend of this technology. And it is going to be a perfect mix, you can say, post lockdown, when the teachers will be teaching in the physical form and as well as taking help of technology. This blended learning also exposes to use variety of tools and techniques in terms of question paper designing or quizzes, using different applications to test the knowledge and understanding of the children. So I feel it's a boon, it's a blessing in disguise for each and every individual, those who are associated with the teaching learning process. And for teachers, it's a great opportunity in case they want to make a career and want to grow in this field. So I take it as a positive note, though there are pros and cons of each and every situation. But again, the mindset and the thought process of an individual or the masses, how do we take it? The situation also has a lot many negative aspects, but again, there are a number of positives which we can derive out of it and can include and can utilize out of this situation. So I agree, and thank you so much for giving me opportunity to share my views on this topic. Thank you, Mr. Rak.
Welcome. So, well said, sir. Sangeeta ma'am, your take on this.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I really agree with sir what he said. I think he summed up the whole concept of blended learning in 2 to 3 minutes. I think I can only, give my take on that. I think there's a very famous saying which says adversity brings out the best in us. So this is the time when we are thinking of going ahead, when we are being pulled backwards,
Correct.
because more or less we all are in a situation where we are thinking this is the new normal. So when we talk about blended learning, the first thing that comes to my mind is the blender which we use in the kitchen. When we make something, we put something each of everything in that and we blend it, or it depends upon us whether we get a smoothie or we make a chutney, or we need a dough. So it is entirely up to us as leaders. If we are doing blended learning, we need to be very, very careful what we are exactly giving it to our children. Because my take is that according to 21st century literacies, which was coined by the National Council of Teachers, they aptly said that this is the social nature of learning that is supported by ability to collaborate using digital technologies in learning, and they are best described as skills students will need in the society in which they will work. Strong communication, collaboration, expertise in technology, innovative and creative thinking, and yes, ability to solve problems. I think this COVID has taught each one of us how to solve the problems. Earlier, the children were not ready to sit at home and learn. They used to go out, we are going out for tuitions. Now they have no other chance. They have to sit at home and study. And one more thing is going by the thing that India is a developing country, still not developed, it's not underdeveloped. We are doing far better than other Western countries as far as education is concerned. I think the round of applause should go to CBSE also. What I see that CBSE has become more aggressive. After 35 years, they have given the national education policy, and they were not thinking that COVID will strike. In spite of that, they are talking about literacy skills, skill-based competency, vocational studies, skill education. That means CBSE is thinking 10 years ahead. So it is a blessing in disguise that they have come up with this policy right now at this juncture. And mind you, I think this is going to be operational in maybe 2023. But this COVID has taught us that you have to blend hybrid learning, differentiated teaching, instruction, like sir rightly said, flipped. Flipped is what we are taught in the class goes opposite what we are taught at home. Now it's the other way around. And we can really collate it with the Bloom's taxonomy also. So the pyramid is inverted now. So this is a blend, a beautiful blend. And, we are all rightly sitting here, and I must thank Mr. Kalia, because this is the most apt thing. Because at the end of the day, it is our ethical responsibilities which will create more opportunities for our children to tide over these complex situations. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Well said, ma'am. We all have become problem solvers.
Yes,
uh,
true.
within days and months. So yes, Shukla sir, your take on this, sir.
Thank you, Rakesh Kalia sir.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Chauhan sir. So, as per the situation, opportunity prevails in adverse situation too. This is a situation where we are learning a lot of the things, and we are acclimatizing the situation where we are facing, whether in a school or at home or in market or going somewhere else. Everywhere the people are talking about this COVID-19 as well as the precautions that we have to take. Second talk in these days in the society about the studies. What is going on in school, what is going on in colleges, and what is going on in practical field. So this pandemic has opened the door of education across the globe of new methodology, which is for a school, that is fusion technology. Traditional method of learning was, now it is mixed with the technology which is called blended learning. And the blended learning is, the teacher were teaching in an orthodox manner, still they are teaching in an orthodox manner, but with the help of the computers, with the help of the latest technology. Otherwise, we have not listened the Google Sheet, Google Paper, for example, this Zoom meeting, now the Microsoft meeting. Lot of the companies, they have started the meeting modules. So where as a head of the school, we were talking about the teacher, you should be acclimatized with the technology. But some of the teachers they were, and some of the teachers they were not so much comfortable on it. Now the situation always forces us to learn the things. Now the situation forces, that is why we are not having any place to move. We have to learn this. So then now the good teachers, if they are mixed with their teaching with the technology, then they are the perfect teacher. Either whether you are a good teacher and if you are not mixing your teaching with the technology, then you will not survive in future now. What? See, teachers are making the paper with the pen and paper. Now the teacher has to make the paper on Google Sheet, then the children will solve it, and it would come to us back, and then we will analyze it, evaluate it, and then go back to the parents. Yesterday I have listened to a lot of the schools, they are going to start the pre-board examination on this Zoom meeting. Who will be the observer? Who will be the evaluator? Who will be the invigilator? Parent will be the invigilator. So we are empowering the parents also to check their children. So who is providing this? The situation is providing this. So this all part of blended learning where teacher, leader, student, parent, and the general member of the society, they all are learning how to acclimatize with the situation where we are learning what is it. So although blended learning module had been adopted, restricted physical access to educational institute. So in this situation, we are suffering with a lot of the things, but additionally, we are learning many things, which can be important in future. Before 5 years, I was taking the meeting with the teachers, and one company introduced in my school that was extra marks. And then I was telling to all the teachers, you have to acclimatize with this technology, with this smart board and other things. So I was taking there, and then after that, after 6 months, again I have to take the meeting. Okay, how many teachers and how much you are comfortable with this smart boards. So some out of 100 teachers, some 2-3 teachers were not so comfortable still after 6 months after giving the training. So I shouted on them and I told them, if you will not acclimatize with this, then this education, media, society, parents, they will, school even wipe off after some time, whether you are a good teacher. Why? I am perfectly sure in it, then this blended learning or this methodology or this teaching will be replaced soon the physical teacher. If it is not replaced, 50% it is mixed with it face-to-face teaching. So I am quite sure if you are a good teacher, you have to comfortable with the method, with the technology, then you can be a good teacher, effective teacher for the society. So this is blended learning.
Good, sir. Very nicely stated, sir. So it's a blend of, if we say technology enhanced learning or blended learning, basically is either mixing it with the technology. We need to work out the right mix between the technology and the physical presence of a teacher, or physical presence of a teacher and online some resources that we pull in to enhance the learning levels of our students.
Right, sir.
So I thank all the panelists for their great comments. So friends, one of the most important stakeholders in a school ecosystem is a teacher, right? With new paradigms being introduced in the teaching learning systems, our school teachers must also reposition themselves, particularly in a blended learning setup. So my next question is for Chetan sir. Sir, my next question is like, how does school teachers need to redefine their role in an effective blended learning system?
See, Mr. Rakesh, it's not only that we leave everything on the teachers. Being the institutional leaders, it is our moral and professional duty that we handhold the teachers. Because again, it's a new thing for them. Technology, the kind of technological usage we have right now, they were not used to it. And still, there are schools where we need to push the teachers to great extent to accept the usage of technology. And it is for their benefit only, for their betterment, because if we look at the education system and the revolutionary changes happening in the education field, after 5 years or 10 years so, this is going to become, the usage of technology is going to become part and parcel. And that is what we emphasize even to the children with the introduction of, now we all are hearing about coding, artificial intelligence into the curricular activities and the subjects. So somewhere the teachers need to put in their best of efforts. It requires commitment from their own side. They need to be provided trainings by the schools or by the boards by which the schools are affiliated. And the most important thing is that mindsets have to be changed, because it's a complete, it's not, this blended learning is not a supplement, but it is a transformation which is taking place from traditional teaching to teaching by using digital platforms and technology. So it's a complete overhauling and transformation, we should say that, and it has to strike a perfect balance. Alone, digital platform cannot do the needful, and alone the physical form of classroom cannot do the needful. There has to be a right mix, as Madam rightly quoted an example of a mixture. So proper proportion and the ratio has to be maintained. That has to be understood by the institutional leaders, the managements, and the teachers also should understand it is high time that they need to go for a change. The teaching methodologies they were using for the past 5 years or 10 years is not going to exist anymore if you look at the next 5 years or 10 years. So they need to accept the challenge, they need to grow, they need to learn. And the research shows that with the with the blended learning, the performance of the students enhances, it improves. And when we know the results, and it also takes care of the different learning styles of the children. As we all know, in a classroom setup, in a strength of 30-35, there are a variety of learners. Some are audio learners, some are visual learners, kinesthetics and all. And this digital platform also gives a lot of opportunities and takes care of different kind of learning styles. So if used properly, these the pace also varies in individual learners. As a learner, I'm very comfortable. I have my own pace and I have the flexibility to adopt, to learn at my own pace. And it varies from individual learner. So the thing is that for teachers, it is going to be challenging, but at the earliest, they need to accept this challenge and need to enhance their skills, need to improve their knowledge. Then only they will be comfortable and do justice with the profession of teaching. And with this, I think it's an opportunity for the teachers. They can do a lot of research. They can go for their own professional development that is required. And as CBSE is going to introduce a lot many changes in the schools affiliated to the board, so they need to gear up. Literally saying that we need to pull up our socks to meet the demands of the changing scenario. That is what I would like to contribute and say in this regard. Thank you.
Great to hear, sir. So Definitely, teachers, our school teachers need a lot of reskilling and upskilling at the same time. Not only learning new ways of teaching, but to enrich their knowledge levels as well, in order to meet the demands of the future job market. You can say, because we are, as the industry 4.0 is unfolding very fast with IoT and artificial intelligence and machine learning coming in. So we our teachers, and there is a greater onus on the schools as well to prepare children for the next uncertain, as I told, it's a VUCA world. So it's all uncertain and unknown world for which we need to prepare our children for.
Because there are known facts that for example, by 2025, I think almost 50% of the jobs are going to be obsolete and outdated.
Absolutely.
Right. And the new career options, they demand the professionals to be technologically sound.
Absolutely.
They can only be sound provided their educators, their teachers, they have an upper hand and correct usage of technology, and they are transmitting it in their classroom situation.
Absolutely.
So that is why it has become mandatory, you can say, or it's going to be a part and parcel. That is why.
Very correct, sir. Very correct. So, friends, today in 2020, blended learning isn't a new phenomenon, right? But after more than a decade of steady adoption and improvement, it hasn't yet reached the degree of effectiveness, reliability, and usability to become the norm in K-12 education. Blended learning still exists on the fringes of the school academic system. So, Sangeeta ma'am, in order to mainstream blended learning in post-COVID schools, what pedagogical changes the school leaders must incorporate?
First of all, the main criteria which we are going to look into is the assessment and evaluation. That's number one. And I'll come to that later. But first question every teacher is going to ask herself or himself first thing in the morning is, what new I am going to give to my learner? I really identify with Mr. Chauhan. He said that the teachers need to be trained. But we have, as leaders, we have to be very, very thoughtful, insightful in giving them a very, very specific curricular pedagogies ourselves. First of all, this has to be instilled among us. I'll give you a very simple example. We all talk about experiential learning. And how many of us knows the difference between an experiment and experiential learning? Right? Suppose a child is there. He wants to ride a bicycle. He doesn't have a bicycle. He goes out and he sees that somebody's riding a bicycle. He has seen somebody else. He has seen his friend. He doesn't know how to ride a bicycle. He knows there are two wheels, there are two pedals, and he has to hold a handle. In his mind, bicycle 10 times, I'll ride. And then he will ask for a bicycle from his friend, ki mujhe de do, I'll go and ride. He will ride, either he will ride it and fall, or he will just ride and fall. After that, he will try to learn ki I know there are two wheels, I know there are two pedals, handles, but still how the learning is going to come. Here is how the teacher and the school needs to come. He has a problem, he wants to learn a new thing, those skills have to be developed. That will only come by experience. Our teachers have been taught in a different mold in B.Ed colleges. The teachers who are teaching the BA in B.Ed colleges, they have never taught a single class in their lives. That's number one. Next is, we talk about art integration. Now, everybody understands art integration is drawing and painting. No. The word art means that we need to appreciate what is good, what is art, music, dance, drama, allocation, your body language, the way you express yourself, the way you want to express yourself. When Chauhan sir was talking about curricular activities, now how art integration plays a role. This is the role of us as leaders to train the teachers in art integration, in experiential learning. So we need to be, experiential learning was there 5 years ago also, 10 years ago also, it was always there. Now it has become more mandatory and it has become more subjective. It is no longer objective. Now it is the need of the hour that till class 10th art integration grades have to be filled. HP has to be filled. It's no longer. So there are certain things which were, everybody was taking it very casually. Post COVID, we need to be very serious, whether it is art, whether it is music, or it is experiential learning, or conducting an experiment. Now the child cannot sit at home and do the same experiment the teacher is demonstrating. Now we have to understand the safety measures. So that teacher has to be called to school, taught, trained, and the sages. And in the ad it comes, not to be tried at home under expert supervision. Now everything we are telling the teachers to do, it has to be done under expert supervision. It has to be expert guidance also. And we are giving teachers, these 4 chapters are there. No, we need to tell our teachers they have to define their own learning outcomes. Otherwise, schools will not work. CBSE ने कहा 30% सिलेबस काट देते हैं. बट वो चैप्टर जो कटा है, अगर उसकी कनेक्टिविटी लास्ट 3 चैप्टर्स के साथ है, so we have to teach that chapter that has come from us. That chapter has to be taught, but it will not be evaluated. So my next point will be concept based teaching, where when we need to work knowledge. Sir gave a beautiful point that multiple learning styles. Yes, I agree with him. Second is multiple learning abilities. Third is Gardner's multiple intelligences. So every child who was not good in expressing himself in English, he was not able to write, or he's dyslexic, or he's not able to comprehend, he's getting in a Google form test, he's getting 45 out of 50 because the test is MCQ. Now this COVID has enhanced the self-esteem of children. Now they know that if they're seeing something, they're doing something, they're getting 40 marks. They're at par with the children who have been getting 90% marks when the physical classes were going on. So come what may, it is a win-win situation. Everybody, I am learning, you are learning, sir, everybody is learning. And last but not the least, I'll not go too overboard with things. Sir, we need to work very extensively on content creation. This is the need of the hour. We need to have resource heads where the content creation takes a paramount importance, because what teacher is teaching is he's teaching from the book. That was meant for classroom teaching. E-content, like sir was saying, extra marks, Byju's. I'll share with you, in Firozpur, I've been here for the last 6 years now. I'm basically from Chandigarh only, born and brought up in Chandigarh. I have made complete my staff IT literate. So 2 years back, I all made them IT literate. So the shift was very gradual. Maybe, you have that preconceived idea that this is going to be, like you just said the word industrial age. 5 years back, we talked about industrial age. Now we have already set our foot in industrial age 4.0. It has started. It has, small steps have already been taken. We have ushered in the industrial age 4.0, where AI, augmented reality, and all the science things like skill-based education, artificial intelligence, you name it. And we were seeing a shift to commerce and arts. We were seeing a shift. Now, all of a sudden, the children will go for pure sciences. They'll go for biotechnology. They will go for bioengineering. They will go for proteomics, informatics. They are going to now these things, because I'm a pathologist by profession. Because now I know that more and more children will go into research. So post COVID, so I think I've answered your question to the fullest.
Sure,
Thank you, Mr. Kalia.
Very well said, ma'am. So you gave us insights about art integration into education.
And experiential learning.
Yes, experiential learning. That is all need of the hours for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see better performance from blended learning.
Yes.
When school starts to integrate the design of technologies, school policies and educator practices.
Yes.
Host of technological solutions offered by the edtech companies mostly increase confusion and delays adoption, right? As you
True.
mentioned about extra, maybe extra marks or Byju's or others. So my next question is for Shukla sir. Sir, does effective blended learning require any technological inputs in schools?
Sure, sir. Definitely.
Okay, please elaborate.
See, I'll take my example of my school where we were having a internet connection 6 Mbps. Now we have taken the connection of 100 Mbps. Right. All the teachers are coming to school and they have to teach online to all the children. And the connectivity is the primary thing for the school, like a chalk and board. Now, so this is the first thing. First thing of technology. Number second, all the teachers must be IT learner. Whether they are not educated or not, we have to provide the training. Online modules, training modules are available, and our DP society is giving lot of training for the teachers, those who can be comfortable on online education. See, this blended learning involves many modes of teaching, require varied resources. So technology-based resources are very, very important and crucial, and I should say it is mandatory for the school. If the internet connection is not there for 2 hours, school will stop. You cannot run on your school now. Lot of the internet, lot of the emails, lot of the communications are going on in a day from the side of parent, from the side of administration, from the side of society. So you cannot run the school without the technology now. See, you take one example, when the child born, in the case of crocodile just pick his child and just drop it into the water. And the crocodile child is very, very effective swimmer. He is not going to teach anything to their children. Now, this situation forces you have to learn, whether you are a teacher or a children or a leader, you have to be comfortable on this technology. You just imagine, before 20 years, I was not comfortable on computer. We have learned on the job. We have learned how to type. And now it is mandatory. Second thing, the generation to whom we are teaching, this generation is not comfortable with pen and paper. They are pretty much comfortable on computers. The student of class 3 who is comfortable with the mobile, who is comfortable on computer, who is comfortable on laptop. And earlier the parents were complaining, my child always spend much of time on computers and laptop. Now they are not seeing anything. When we have started this online teaching forcefully in the month of March, the parents were coming and parents were calling to me, more than 100 of calls attending by a day. Connectivity problem is there. We are not having the laptop. We are not having the smartphone. How we will do it? We were not having any option as a leader, as a teacher, as a children, as a parent. But now everybody is comfortable. So the situation teaches us the school have to be comfortable. School needs the technology as well as the highest technology. Those schools which are having a highest technology, they will definitely they will survive in future. And you see, maybe after a 2 year or 3 year, the CBSE is going to be provide the question paper online only. They are not going to send the hard copy. The school will not have the connectivity. The school will not having a teacher, those who are not IT comfortable, and they will not be able to conduct the examination also. So this is a time where we have to be technological inputs are important. So this is a form of learning requires a combination traditional instruction with extra mode, like we have to be comfortable on mobile, video conferencing, online evaluation tools. Now see, we are doing all MCM, management training, management committee meetings, SMC meetings. Even we are taking the interview on conferences. Earlier, we cannot think on it. So this is traditional teaching would be a historical technique in coming time. Now the face-to-face teaching as well as the internet teaching or the technological teaching will be the requirement of future. So school have been therefore helped the teacher to adopt the form of learning. Numerous online training modules are available. So as a leader, you need to teach them what is digital content, and the teacher have to be very cautious. Why? Because of no place of mistake now. The teacher is teaching, a lot of the people, they are observing them. Earlier, the teacher was teaching in a class, whatever he taught in a class, nobody is going to catch you. Now everything is going to be recorded. You are observed by the parent, by the children, by the leader, and by the head, and they are going to catch you. So you have to be very, very cautious. That is why online teaching, technology, face-to-face teaching requires a soft skill also. Why the teaching method is totally changed now. Earlier, what you were teaching methods were different in a face-to-face teaching. Now, online teaching, now you have to change your method also. You have to be speak slow. Your speed should not be high. You have to repeat the things many times in a class. You have to recover, you have to cover a small portion of your syllabus. So then you cannot go fast. Why? The children sometimes skip your lecture, sometimes skip, sometimes they are out of mind. So you have to teach very, very slow to them. Then you can be an effective teacher for your children. So the technology and technological skill, technological input is required by all the school. Then this teaching as well as the school can be effective for your children. Thank you very much, sir.
Well said, sir. Technology is certainly the lifeline now for effective implementation of all blended learning systems that we are looking for in our futuristic schools. So that's wonderful. Thanks, Chetan sir, Sangeeta ma'am, and
Thank
Shukla
you.
sir for all your great insights in today's webinar. Whereas no mechanical device can successfully substitute for the teacher personality and pupil-teacher relationship. The online resources and technology a school uses could be more effective if they were aligned with that school's particular culture and instructional strategies. So viewers, today's webinar on blended learning has provided us enough insights to transform our teaching learning system in the post-COVID schools. On that note, I again thank all the respected panelists on sparing their precious time. Thank you very much again, and good evening to all. Thank you.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.